The family room at Mom's house was packed. She'd called an emergency meeting. Sunday afternoon, everyone was required to attend. My brother Jason sat on the couch like a king holding court, his wife Rebecca beside him, both glowing with barely contained excitement. I leaned against the doorframe, coffee in hand, waiting. "Thank you all for coming," Mom began, standing by the fireplace. "Jason has wonderful news to share." Jason stood, pulling out his phone to show photos. "As you know, Rebecca and I have been looking for a beach property for years, somewhere the kids could make memories, where we could host family gatherings." Aunts and uncles nodded approvingly. My cousin Sarah was already leaning in to see the photos. "Well, we found the perfect place," Jason continued, swiping through images. "For bedrooms, direct beach access, stunning ocean views. We close next week." Everyone applauded. Rebecca beamed. "That's not even the best part," Jason said. "The house is in Sunset Cove, that exclusive area where Meredith has been squatting for the past 3 years." I straightened slightly. Squatting was an interesting word choice. "What do you mean, squatting?" Ada asked. "The beach house Meredith's been using," Mom explained. "The one Uncle Frank left to the family when he passed. She's been living there like it's hers, refusing to share access with the rest of us." "That's not quite accurate," I said quietly. "Let me finish," Jason said, shooting me a look. "The point is, that house should have been available for all of us, but Meredith's been territorial about it. So Rebecca and I decided to take action." "What kind of action?" Uncle Tom asked. "We filed a partition lawsuit," Rebecca said proudly, "to force the sale of the property. As family members with inheritance rights, we have legal standing." "The court agreed," Jason continued. "The judge ordered the property sold at auction to settle the estate dispute. And guess who the highest bidder was?" He pointed at himself with both thumbs. "We bought it for $1.8 million. Under market value, too. It's worth at least $2.3 million. More applause. My cousin Marcus whistled appreciatively. "So, yeah, it's officially family property," Mom said, smiling. "Jason and Rebecca have generously agreed to let us all use it. We're planning a huge housewarming party next month, right after they take possession. We're thinking 4th of July weekend," Rebecca added. "Big family reunion, fireworks on the beach. It'll be amazing." "When exactly do you take possession?" I asked. "Friday," Jason said. 5 days. The sheriff's office is handling the eviction notice. You'll need to be out by Thursday night, Meredith." "I'd start packing if I were you." "Eviction notice," I repeated. "Don't be dramatic," Mom said. "You've had 3 years there, rent-free. That's more than generous. Time to let the family enjoy it properly." I took a sip of coffee. "That's interesting because I didn't receive any eviction notice." "It was filed with the court," Jason said impatiently. "You'll get served this week." "Was this partition lawsuit filed in Orange County Superior Court?" I asked. "Yes. Judge Martinez presiding. Everything's legal and proper." "Case number?" Jason pulled out a document. 20 CV 04892. "What? You planning to fight it?" "Because you'll lose. The judge already ruled." I set down my coffee and pulled out my phone. "Excuse me one moment." I walked into the hallway and dialed. Patricia answered on the second ring. "Patricia, it's Meredith. I'm at my mother's house. Apparently, my brother filed a partition lawsuit against me regarding the Sunset Cove property. Case number 20 CV 04892. Can you check on that?" "Hold on." I heard typing. "Okay, I found it. Filed 6 months ago. There's a default judgment." "Meredith, did you receive service on this?" "No. First I'm hearing about it." "Then the default judgment is invalid." "Let me read the file." "Okay, this is interesting." The plaintiff claimed the property was inherited from Frank Morrison in 2018 and that multiple family members have ownership rights. Frank Morrison died in 2015, not 2018. And he didn't own that property. "I do." "Can you prove that?" "I bought it in 2014. I have the deed, title, insurance, mortgage records, which I paid off 2 years ago. I've paid property taxes continuously since purchase. The county records will show me as owner of record for 9 years." Patricia was quiet for a moment. Your brother filed a fraudulent lawsuit, claiming family ownership of property you purchased before Frank Morrison even died. Apparently so. This is bad, Meredith. Really bad. He obtained a court order based on false information. That's fraud on the court. What happens now? I'm filing an emergency motion to vacate the judgment. We'll need to prove ownership and show you were never properly served. Can you get to my office in an hour? Yes. Bring every document related to that property. Every single one. I hung up and walked back into the family room. Everyone was looking at vacation rental websites, planning the housewarming party. Jason, I said calmly, we need to talk. If you're going to beg to stay, save it, he said. The sale is final. I'm not going to beg. I'm going to explain why you're about to have a very bad day. The room went quiet. The beach house isn't family property, I said. It never was. I bought it in 2014 for $1.3 million. Uncle Frank died in 2015, a year after I purchased it. He never owned that property. I do. Jason laughed. That's absurd. You were 26 in 2014. You couldn't afford $1 million beach house. I was 26 with a master's degree in software engineering and a job at a tech startup that went public, I said. My stock options vested that year. I made $2.1 million. I bought the beach house, paid cash, and never told the family because I knew exactly what would happen. You're lying, Rebecca said flatly. I'm not. The deed is recorded with Orange County. Meredith Chin, sole owner, recorded August 2014. I can pull it up right now. Mom shook her head. Frank left you that house in his will. Frank left me $50,000 in his will. Not a house. I used it to furnish the house I'd already owned for a year. I pulled up the county assessor's website on my phone, typed in the address, and held it up. Owner of record, Meredith Chin. Purchase date, August 15, 2014. Purchase price, $1,300,000. Current assessed value, $2,400,000. Uncle Tom grabbed my phone, staring at the screen. Jesus Christ. So, when you filed a partition lawsuit, I continued, looking at Jason, claiming the property was inherited family property, you committed fraud. When you told the court that multiple family members had ownership rights, that was perjury. When you obtained a court order to sell my property, that was fraud on the court. The color drained from Jason's face. You never received an eviction notice from the sheriff, I said, because the sheriff can't evict an owner from their own property. You received a sale notice because you purchased something at auction. But the auction itself was based on a fraudulent court order. I paid $1.8 million, Jason said, his voice rising. I have a cashier's check. The sale is final. The sale is invalid if it was based on fraud. You'll get your money back, but you don't own the house. Rebecca stood up. This is insane. The judge ruled. The judge ruled based on false information Jason provided. Also, did you ever serve me with notice of the lawsuit? Jason and Rebecca exchanged glances. I'll take that as a no, I said. So, not only did you lie about ownership, you never properly served me with notice. The default judgment is invalid on multiple grounds. My phone rang. Meredith, I've reviewed everything. I'm filing the emergency motion now, but there's something you should know. The auction purchaser could face criminal charges for knowingly buying fraudulently obtained property, even if they didn't know it was fraudulent. If they filed the fraudulent lawsuit themselves, absolutely. Wire fraud, fraud on the court, possibly theft by deception. My brother is the purchaser. Patricia swore softly. Then he's looking at serious charges. The DA's office will be very interested in this. What about the money he paid? He'll get it back through the court, but that doesn't erase the criminal exposure. Meredith, this is worse than I thought. Your brother committed multiple felonies. I'm putting you on speaker, I said. My family should hear this. I tapped the button. Patricia's voice filled the room. To everyone listening, filing a partition lawsuit for property you don't have rights to is fraud. Providing false information to a court is perjury. Obtaining a court order through deception is fraud on the court. Attempting to take possession of someone else's property is theft and trespass. These are serious criminal offenses with prison time attached. We didn't know, Rebecca said desperately. We thought it was family property. Did you verify ownership before filing? Patricia asked. Silence. Did you do any title search? Did you check county records? Did you confirm that Frank Morrison ever owned the property? Our attorney said. Jason started. Your attorney filed based on information you provided. If you lied to your attorney, that's on you. Patricia's tone was sharp. I'm filing an emergency motion to vacate the judgment within the hour. I'm also notifying the DA's office of potential fraud. Meredith, I need you here now. On my way. I ended the call. The family room was silent, except for Mom's quiet crying. This is your fault, Jason said, pointing at me. You hid the fact that you own the house. You let us think it was family property. I never said it was family property. You assumed. I've been paying property taxes for 9 years. My name is on public records. You never bothered to check because you wanted it to be family property. We're going to lose $1.8 million because of you. No, you're going to get $1.8 million back from the court. What you're going to lose is your clean record, possibly your freedom, depending on what the DA decides. Aunt Linda found her voice. Meredith, surely you don't want your brother arrested over a misunderstanding. This wasn't a misunderstanding. Jason filed a lawsuit claiming ownership of my property. He lied to a judge. He obtained a fraudulent court order. He tried to have me evicted from my own house. And you all sat here planning a party to celebrate stealing my home. Family doesn't press charges against family, Mom sobbed. Family doesn't steal houses from family, I shot back. But here we are. I grabbed my purse. I'm going to my attorney's office now. Then I'm going home to my house that I own, that Jason will never set foot in. The housewarming party is canceled. The family vacation spot you were all planning? Not happening, because it's mine, and it always was. Meredith, wait, Uncle Tom called. I turned at the door. For the record, if Jason had actually asked, not demanded or assumed or sued, I might have let the family use the house sometimes. I've hosted you all before. But you didn't ask. He tried to take, so now nobody gets anything. I walked out. The emergency motion hearing was scheduled for Wednesday morning, 2 days before Jason's planned possession date. Patricia had compiled everything, the original purchase documents from 2014, 9 years of property tax payments, utility bills in my name, mortgage records showing I'd paid off the loan in 2021. Even photos of me at the house dated before Uncle Frank's death. Judge Martinez looked tired when she entered the courtroom. Jason and Rebecca sat with their attorney, a nervous-looking man named Morrison, who clearly hadn't done proper due diligence. Miss Chin, the judge said, I've reviewed your motion and the supporting documents. This is highly irregular. Your Honor, Patricia stood, the partition lawsuit was filed based on entirely false premises. The plaintiff claimed the property was inherited family property when, in fact, my client purchased it a year before the supposed decedent even died. My client was never properly served with notice. The entire proceeding is fraudulent. Judge Martinez turned to Jason's attorney. Mr. Morrison, did you verify ownership before filing? Morrison stood shakily. Your Honor, my clients informed me the property was family property inherited from Frank Morrison in 2018. Frank Morrison died in 2015, not 2018, Patricia interrupted, and he never owned the property in question. The judge pulled up something on her computer. County records show Meredith Chin as owner since August 2014. Continuous tax payments, no liens, no disputes, clear title. She looked at Jason. Mr. Chin, where did you get the information that this was family property? Jason stood. My mother told me. Your mother isn't a property records expert. Did you do any independent verification? Our family had been using the house. That's not what I asked. Did you verify ownership before filing a lawsuit? No, Your Honor. The courtroom was silent. Did you attempt to serve Miss Chin with notice of the partition lawsuit? We sent a letter to the property. A letter is not proper service. Was she personally served by a process server or sheriff as required by law? No, Your Honor. Judge Martinez's expression hardened. So, you filed a lawsuit claiming ownership of property you didn't verify you had rights to. You never properly served the actual owner, and you obtained a default judgment by default because the owner, who had no idea she was being sued, didn't appear to defend herself. When you put it that way, that's the only way to put it, Mr. Chin. This is fraud on the court. She turned to Morrison. Mr. Morrison, I'm referring you to the State Bar for investigation. You should have verified basic facts before filing. Morrison sat down heavily. The default judgment is vacated, Judge Martinez said. The auction sale is voided. Mr. Chin, your $1.8 million will be returned through the court within 30 days. Ms. Chin is and remains the sole legal owner of the property. Furthermore, I'm referring this matter to the District Attorney's Office for potential criminal prosecution. Your Honor, Jason said desperately, I made a mistake. You made multiple felonies, the judge corrected. Fraud, perjury, and attempted theft by deception. The DA will decide whether to file charges. We're adjourned. She left the bench. Jason turned to me, his face a mixture of rage and panic. You're really going to let them prosecute me? I'm not letting them do anything. You committed crimes. I'm your brother. And I'm the person whose house you tried to steal. Rebecca was crying. We have 3 kids. Jason could go to prison. You'd do that to your nieces and nephews. I'm not doing anything to them. Their father is. He chose to commit fraud instead of asking me if the family could use the house. I walked out of the courtroom with Patricia. Behind me, I could hear Rebecca's sobs and Jason's angry voice demanding Morrison explain how they'd fix this. The DA will likely offer a plea deal, Patricia said as we reached her car. Probation, restitution, community service. First offense, no violence, but he'll have a record. Good. She looked at me carefully. You okay? I'm fine. Tired of being the family ATM and storage unit, but fine. For what it's worth, you handled this perfectly. You had all the documentation. You didn't engage emotionally. You let the law work. I learned from watching my family take and take for years. I made sure everything I built was protected. My phone buzzed. A text from Mom. How could you do this to your brother? You made one mistake. You're destroying his life over a house. I showed it to Patricia. Are you going to respond? No. They still don't get it. They think this is about a house. It's about them believing they're entitled to everything I have. The district attorney did offer Jason a plea deal. 2 years probation, 200 hours of community service, restitution of legal fees, and a permanent record. He took it rather than risk trial. Mom stopped speaking to me. Most of the extended family took her side. I was the cruel daughter who'd hidden my success and then destroyed my brother over a misunderstanding. Uncle Tom was the exception. He called me 2 weeks after the hearing. Your mother's telling everyone you trapped Jason, he said. That you deliberately hid your ownership to set him up. I didn't hide anything. My ownership is public record. They never looked. I know. I checked the records myself. You bought that house at 26. That's impressive. Thank you. Frank used to say you were the smart one. That you'd go far if the family didn't hold you back. He paused. I think he was right. After we hung up, I stood on my deck, my beach house deck that I'd owned for 9 years, that was legally and irrevocably mine, and watched the sunset over the Pacific. Jason had planned a housewarming party, fireworks, a family reunion to celebrate his new beach house. Instead, he had a criminal record and probation, and I had my house, my peace, and the satisfaction of knowing that every safeguard I'd built into my life had worked exactly as designed. The judge had called. The sheriff's cars had pulled up, but not for me. The court order I'd reviewed wasn't an eviction notice. It was justice. And sometimes that's all the family reunion you need.